Welcome everyone to this video. Today we will learn how to create a game using Unreal Engine. We will be making a simple box game where our player must navigate through a 3D platform and reach the end while being chased by an AI. By the end of this video, you will have a complete game and knowledge to create even more games. So without further ado, let's open up Unreal Engine and start by creating our project. And when you are inside Unreal Engine, you're going to select a blank project, select Blueprint, Desktop Maximum, enable the starter content, rename your project. I'm just going to say this as you're going to name this beginner lesson. You can name it whatever you want, and then you can set the location. And after that, just hit create. And now we are inside the project. Make sure to update it. Now, first of all, because we are in a untitled map, this is not saved in anywhere on our content drawer or browser. So we are going to make our level first. So go to the content browser, right click, and create a new folder called _my_game. This folder will contain all of our game files. So double click on it, make a new folder called world. Okay, and in world we're going to create a level called test bench. Double click to open up test bench, and as you will see, we have opened up a new level over here. So after that, go to edit, project settings, and now go to maps and mode and set the editor starter map to be your test bench. After that is done, save everything. And now let's put some light into the world. So go to the place actors, which you can also access from here, and you can add this panel from here. Okay, we're going to pin it, and then we're going to add, first of all, lights, directional light, skylight. Then in shape, we're going to add a plane. Then in VFX, we're going to add a post-process volume, sky atmosphere, volumetric cloud, and exponential height wall. Once you have all of those things, you can unpin it and then select each of them and make the location to be 0, 0. After that is done, we can just select the plane, and then we're going to lock its scale value, and then we're going to make it 500 in all of them. And now we have pretty big ground to work with. But as you can see, this is completely white, but I actually need some kind of noise to understand where we currently are in the world. So to do that, just basically go over here to the materials of the plane and then make the default. Okay, so reset the material property, and it will set world grid material to it, which kind of have some kind of noise to tell us when we are moving and where do we place objects. Now we are going to start by creating our character to move around. So go to content drawer, again to my games, right click, new folder, and this is going to be called for blueprints. And now double click on blueprints. Inside blueprints, we're going to right click and create a blueprint class called character. We're going to say BP player, because this is going to be our player character. Double click on it to open it up. Naturally, whenever you make a character blueprint, it will have these few things. First of all, a arrow component that is telling us in which direction we are facing. Then we have a capsule component that basically collide with the world. And then we have a mesh that doesn't really contain anything because we need to set a skeleton mesh, because we need to set a mesh to it. For now, we're not going to use any skeleton mesh. We are only making a box game. Okay, so we're going to use a cube as our player. So to do that, select your mesh, then click on add and add a cube from the drop down. Once you do that, we are going to scale it down to about 0.5, And then we're going to scale down this capsule component. To do so, go to the shapes option and then decrease the capsule half height till basically cover all of the sides of our cube. The one thing is because this is actually also going to collide with the floor, and if you see, the collision is going under the cube. So if you were to put it inside the world, so if we go to content drawer and put it in the world, you can see that it is actually hovering rather than being on the floor. So to do that, go back to your player character, blueprint, and then we're going to just drag this square down. Okay, so we're just going to drag it down. Now compile and save everything. And now we're going to add a camera to this. So go to add option, search for a camera, and we are also going to need a spring arm. Put the spring arm to the cube and put the camera to the spring arm. Okay, and also make sure in the spring arm use pawn control rotation is turned on, and then just compile and save everything. Now we are kind of good to go. We can start moving with the blueprint stuff, but let's start by actually playing the game, right? So to do that, we have to go to world settings, and over here you will see we can select a game mode override, but for now we don't have a game mode. So go to content browser, blueprints, and create a game mode from the blueprint class and game mode base. This is going to be our basic mode. And now go to the game mode override, select basic mode, and then in the selected game mode, change the default pawn to your PP player. Once that is done, you can click on play, and as you can see, we have our cube character in front of us. Okay. Now let's start working with the controls, because if you see, we cannot actually move around in the world. We cannot move our camera or our character. So to do that, first we're going to need to get those inputs, right? So we're going to go back to my games, right click, make a new folder called inputs. And now we're going to start creating the inputs for our character. So right click, go to input section, then select input action, name it IA look, and then make one for IA move. Okay, so we have one for looking and then one for moving. And what we need to do is open up both of them, and we need to change this value type from Boolean to axis 2D. Same with AI move, change the axis value to axis 2D, vector 2D. Once that is done, save everything, and now we're going to create a mapping content. Okay, we're going to create like mapping for these inputs. So go right click, go to map input, and then create input mapping context. This will basically contain which key actually inputs which of these assets. So this is going to be called IMC base map. Double click to open it up, and then select a mapping over here. We're going to select look and then drop it down, and we're going to select from here inside mouse, and we're going to select mouse XY 2D axis. Okay, and then we're going to add another one which is going to be move, and it's going to have actually 4 inputs. One is going to be W, then S, then A, and then D. In W though, you're going to get a modifier which is going to be a swizzle input axis value. drop it down even more, and this is going to be YXZ. Okay, and then go to the S, make two modifiers. First is going to be swizzle input access value YXZ. Then in second one it's going to have negate, and all of them are ticked. After that, in the A, we're going to get a modifier value which is only going to have negate, and D is going to have none of the modifiers. Once that is done, you can turn off AI move and save everything. Now open up your blueprint again, and now we're going to access that data that we just created, the input mapping context, on the event begin play. So right click and search for get player controller. So basically this contains all kind of inputs that we are providing our system with. Then from the return value we're going to type en, and you will see get enhanced input local player subsystem. Now from here we're going to drag it again, and we're going to now add a mapping context into here, and this is going to be the same one that we just created, IMC base map, and compile and save everything. So right click, and now you can type in IA look, and now this IA look will have action value which we can break to get two values like X and Y, and we can use them to look around the world. To look around, we're going to get from the triggered add controller yaw, and then we're going to get add controller pitch. So put X into yaw and Y into pitch. Once you have done that, you can test this by playing, and as you can see we can move our mouse around. But one thing is that when we are moving up and down, it's kind of inverted for me. But if you like to play your games as we have it right here, then you're good to go. But if there is someone else who have the inverted camera like me, then all we have to do is go back to your PP player. Let's put it beside the content browser, and over here we're going to make the pitch to be inverse. So drag from Y, multiply it by -1, and put that value instead of the first one. And now you'll see that we can move around look around the object, but we can still not move. So let's start creating the move option. So again, go to the IA look, or not the look, but the IA move. Again, break the vector, and in the trigger this time we're going to say add movement input. Now in the movement input we have to add a direction and a scale value that is going to be our X and Y. Okay, so what we want to do now is we are going to get the direction, but we need to get two types of direction. Firstly, our forward direction when we are looking, and then we are going to get our left or right direction. So what we have to do is drag your camera, so wherever your camera is looking, and get forward vector. So this is the vector that shows us where our camera is looking, and then we are going to get right vector. And now we have these two options, so we need to make another add movement input, and now basically plug them in, forward vector in there, and then plug X there, Y there. compile and save everything. Now as you can see, when we press W, it actually moves to left. So you just have to change this. Put the X in bottom one and Y in the top one. And as you can see, we can move our character, we can look around. Let me just adjust this blueprint so it looks kind of nice. Okay, so we have our move, look input and move input, and we're going to select all of them and press C to make a comment, and we're going to say looking and moving algorithm. Okay, now that is done, we're going to again make a comment and call this begin play. Alright, now that our character can move, we don't really need many more things except jumping. And now go to the content row, go to the inputs, and now create another input called IA jump. Go to IMC, create a mapping for IA jump, and make this spacebar. Now that is done, we're going to and call for IA jump. And whenever we trigger this, okay, we're going to say jump. Oh, don't actually trigger. This is going to be from the start. Whenever we start it, we're going to jump, and whenever we complete it or cancel it, we're going to say stop jumping. Okay, whenever we start it, we're going to say jump. Whenever we cancel or complete it, we're going to say stop jumping. And that's it. That's our jumping. And if you go to the test bench, we can press spacebar to jump in the world. Now we're going to create a AI that is going to follow us, and if he is able to catch us, then we will lose the game. Okay, so that's the base plot of our game. So we're going to create the AI, which is going to be duplicate of our BP player. So just right click and go for duplicate, and we're going to call this BP underscore AI. But this isn't going to have any of the input functions, none of the player character, and none of the jumps function. Okay, it's just going to have one function called AI move to, which will basically tell it to move to a target that we specify it, and then if it reaches, it's going to say success. If it cannot reach the player, then it will say on fail. Okay, now we're going to go for the pawn, and we're going to call for self, get a reference to the self because we are trying to move our self, and then in the target we're going to get player pawn, and that would be our target actor. Now compile and save everything, and now we are going to create a loop. So if we fail, okay, for some reason if we do fail, we're going to go for a delay, for like a second. We're going to wait for a second, and then we are going to try to move to the target again. Okay, so that's basically it. And if we succeed, just going to print, for now we're just going to print 40. Okay, Now compile and save everything. Now go back to the test bench, and instead of our character, we're going to drop down our AI. Okay. Now if we hit play, as you can see, it is not trying to catch us, but if we do reach it, yeah, it's not trying to catch us. And the reason behind it is because the AI doesn't know where he can move. To actually tell the AI that you can move on a ground, you actually need something called nav mesh, which is nav mesh bounce volume. So drag it in the world and scale it about 10. And now this is a ground where our AI can move in. So if we go inside this ground, click play, as you can see, now our character is trying to reach us, and whenever it reaches, it will call for Pachu, and that's it. Now as you can see that our AI and our character looks the same. So to create that definition, like our character may be blue and our AI will be red as the enemy. So going to go back to our my game, go to world, and now new folder called elements, and double click on it and create a new folder called materials. And over here we're going to create our materials. Right click and select material, and this is going to be our base color master. Double click to open it up, and over here we're going to set a base color. So drag from here and press 3 to create a 3D vector node which contains values in colors, so you can change them, and that would be basically the value of our color. And now what we want to create this as a parameter. So right click and convert to parameter, and we're going to call this base color. Save everything, apply, close. Now when you close your master, you will get this notification, so just say yes, then go to the content drawer, right click on your material and say create material instance. We're going to say this as red, then duplicate it, it's going to be blue, then duplicate it, it's going to be white. Save everything, open up the blue one, go to the global vector parameter values, select base color, and then change the color to blue. Do the same with red and white. Save everything, close them, and now go to your BP AI, go to the cube and select your red one and put it inside your materials. Once you have done that, we can open up blue one. We can select our blue one, go to BP player, cube, and put that one in here. So if we try to play it now, we have a red one and then blue one. Now we're going to start creating some parkour. What is basically going to happen is that we're going to have a bunch of AIs following us around on the ground, and we have a platform up top where we will do our parkour. And if we accidentally fall off, we're going to go into the pit and AI can catch us. But if we are able to run away from AI, go up to the platform again and complete the course, we win. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're just going to get shapes. Okay, go to shape, pin it, and we're going to get a cube, and I'm just going to make some kind of platform. Alright guys, so I have created this structure. So what we have to do is we have to travel from here then move around, and then we're going to jump from this gap, and then we're going to travel from here and then jump from this gap, and over here we will say that you win if you reach this place. Okay, but we have to do this before the AI can catch us. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the AI somewhere over there, and then we're going to set our player start somewhere over here, so we can run and climb on top before the AI can reach us. So go to the play sectors and go to the basics. You will see player start, drag it and put it over here, rotate to this side, and now let's test it out. So before the AI can reach us, we get up top. It's still trying to catch us and it caught us. Maybe AI is a little bit faster than us, I don't know. So you can increase the difficulty and decrease the difficulty, increasing and decreasing the speed of AI. So how you can change the speed? So if you go to the character movement, you can select max walk speed to be like 500, so that it doesn't get that close to us so fast. You just have to make this jump, and now the AI cannot reach us. It will try to reach us from the bottom because it's trying to get to us, and now this is a problem. It says it caught us, so in system it will say that we lose, but we are nowhere near it, right? We are above it, but it is successful. He reached the closest position to our player. So what we need to do is we actually need to create a collider around our AI, which will give us the value, like if our player is actually touching the AI or not. Okay, so to do that, go to the add option and then search for box collision. Put this in mesh and make it as it is. Okay, so keep it as it is. It's a pretty good collision set. And then once you go down, you will see events inside the box collision. Just select the on component begin overlap. So once you have this component, it will contain some details. What we need is the other actor. So whatever actor we are trying to collide will be in here. So what we need to do is from the other actors, we're going to say equal to, and then get player character. And no, not the character, the pawn. Get player pawn. And what we want to do is check that this other actor and our player pawn are the same thing or not. If they are, we're going to promote this to a variable and called is player. And then we're going to attach this to this node. Now go to the loop, and whenever we are succeeding, so on success, we're going to create a branch and check if it is a player or if we are just wandering around. So if it is a player, we're going to say caught you, and if it is not, then we're going to again wait for 1 second and do the AI move again. Okay, and that's our basic loop of AI. That's the base AI that we are going to create for this project at least. Compile and save everything. And now if it goes jump, he stops for a minute because he failed, then it's going to track to our location. He reached us, so now it should have said caught you, but it didn't. And now if we move up, he couldn't make that jump. Now he will try to catch us, and once he do, he will say caught you. And just now I saw that the collision set over here is pretty small, so we're just going to increase it just a bit. Alright then, now our AI is done. Going to close it for now. In future we will need it to change a few things. Now we are going to make the actual leveling thing. Okay, so we win by reaching certain place, and we're going to make stars, so we need to collect all of these stars before we reach the place. Okay, we reach the end, so this is the end, and we're going to place few stars in the way to get there. And one more thing, this platform is way further than I anticipated, so let's just close that gap, and now we can start building the stars. So go to the content drawer, my game, blueprints, and we're going to make a new folder called actors, and it's going to contain a blueprint class and then an actor class called stars. Double click to open it up, and now we're going to add a sphere in here. Okay, make it the default scene root, and then we're going to decrease its scale by 0.2. Then in the materials, drop down the materials, and you will drop down the materials and you will see multiple of the materials over here, and you can select any of them. I'm just going to select bone weight material, which kind of looks like a star, right? And after you have done that, we're going to also disable the collision of this, because we don't want it to collide with the actor. We just want it to exist and descend whenever our character collides with it or captures it. So in the collision, say no collision, compile and save everything, and now we're going to add a sphere collision, and this is a pretty good value for our sphere collision. And now go down and go to the on component begin overlap. Over here we're going to, so over here whenever our actors start to overlap with it, we're going to say that you just collected a star. But before we can do that, we actually want to create a way for the stars actor to send information to our BP player. And we are going to do this by interfaces. So go back to the blueprints, make a new folder called interfaces. Double click to open it up, and we're going to create a blueprint class, not the blueprint class, right click, blueprint folder, and then select blueprint interface. We're going to call this BPI world interactions. Double click to open it up, and now in the new function we're just going to say collect stars. Okay, compile and save it. In inputs and outputs we're not going to really have anything, so just go to the star option, and we're going to get player pawn. And then we're going to, after we get the player pawn, going to get the same function. Okay, just name the same function that you just said here, which is going to be collect stars. And over here you will see messages in the bracket, so select that option and put the target as the player pawn. Once you have done that, once we have sent a message that we have to collect stars now, we're going to destroy the actors. So type in destroy actor, and the target is going to be self. Okay, now go back to your player, go back to the class and select the class settings, and in here select interfaces and search for world interaction. Select PPI world interactions, and As soon as you do that, you will see that we have a interface folder over here. Drop it down and you will see the collect stars event. Double click to create a event, and now whenever the message will run, like we need to collect a star, this event will start. So now we need to create few variables that are going to contain the values for our stars. So go to the variable option, create first, which is going to be current stars. So how many stars do we have right now? And then we're going to have another one, which is going to be max stars. This is the how many stars are there in the map. Okay. Now compile and save everything. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make this max stars instance editable and expose on spawn. Okay. And now go to your test bench or whatever level you are using, and you will see that we have a level blueprint over here. Select that, and in the event begin play, we are firstly going to get player character. Then we're going to cast our character here, cast BP player, and then we're going to set max stars. Okay, so we are basically setting the value of max stars over here. So if you compile and save everything, and you put like if you go in content drawer, my game, blueprint, actor, you put 1 star, so 1 star over here, 1 star over there, then 1 star over there, then 1 over there, and then 1 probably over here. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars in the world. Now actually select them, because as you can see, they are kind of buried in the ground. So we're just going to move them up a bit. So now we have 5 stars in the world. So go to your level blueprints again and put that value in. So this is going to be separate, completely separate for each level. So make sure to go into the blueprints and change this value every time. Now that we have done that, we can go to player, BP player, get the current stars. We're going to set current stars, and then we're going to get current stars, and we're going to add 1 to whatever amount of stars we have right now. Okay, and then we're going to use event tick to actually print how many stars do we have. So go to the event tick, drag and call for print string, and in the in string we're going to append it. In A we're going to call for stars, then we're going to create 3 pin. This is going to contain current stars, and this is going to contain max stars. And in C we're going to just say space / space. And now that is done, we're going to run it, and we have 0 stars out of 5. Now we have 1 star out of 5, now 2, now 3, now we have 4, now we have 5. Now we're going to make a gate that will like take us to the next level, right? That will tell us that we won, and it's only going to let us win if we have all of these stars. Okay, so go back to here, create a new blueprint class, actor, and this is going to be win gate. Okay, double click to open it up. We're going to add another sphere to it. Make a sphere, make it the default scene root, and then again we're going to make another sphere collision. Okay, we're going to scale it down to 0.5 this time. Make the sphere to be 5, maybe 2.5. Yeah. So if we reach this win, we're going to get on component begin overlap. So go to the event interactions, and now we're going to create another function called winning. Okay, and in the inputs, winning. Okay, now go to the win gate, say get player pawn, and now search for winning and attach player pawn to it. Now compile and save everything. Go to BP player, and now we're going to double click on winning to get it, and now we're going to check, like, firstly, is current stars and max stars equal to each other? Okay, so if current stars are equal to max stars, if that is true, then we're going to print you win. But if it's not true, then we're going to say collect all stars. Compile everything, save everything, and now let's start running. Oh, we don't have the win, right? We don't have the win gate. We're going to put it right in the middle. So okay, first we get 1 star, 2 stars. Now we're going to drop down and check what it says. Okay, it didn't print it. We have to, like, disable this event tag. So if we try to go, it says collect all stars. So now we're going to go and start collecting. And once we and once we have selected all of our stars, we're going to say you win. Okay, and if he, like, basically if he catches us, we will lose. All right, then now most of the stuff is done. Most of the programming is already done. We have created stars that you need to collect before you can win. And once we win, now we can move on to the next level. Okay, now before we can work on UI system and creating the level jumping, we actually need more levels. So I will be right back with you when we have 1 or 2 or 3 levels to work with. Alright guys, so I have made 3 levels. This is our first level. Then we have our second level, and then we have our third level. So if we try to play this, we can, oh, of course I didn't select. So go to the elements wherever you created your materials, and as you can see, I have just created a new material for the yellow color, which I'm using for the walls. Now what I want to do is just duplicate the blue and red one, and now double click to open up the base color, and now we're going to make the metallic to be, you know, a value as well. So just drag from metallic and press S, and I'm going to call this metal and then we're going to drag from the roughness, and then we're going to call for okay. We're going to choose both of these to make our character look much better. The default values for both of them are going to be for metal 0, for roughness is going to be 0.5. Apply and save everything. Go back. And now select your blue one, which we are going to call for player. Double click to open it up. To make our character pop up a bit, I think we're just going to change some values. So go back to your world elements, materials, and your player material, and let's see what we can do with the maybe put the 0 in material. Yeah, put the 0 in material and put the roughness to 0 as well. How does this look? Nice. Okay, so now our player character is kind of looking like a mirror. We're going to do the same with the AI, metal to 0 and roughness to 0. Save everything, and that's it. Okay, now we have most of our work done. We have a level. Our player is over there. Our player will start over here, and our enemy is over there. And if you click P, you will see all of the path that the AI can take. Now, as you can see, for the level, AI will travel from there, reach the top floor, and then travel back if they want to get to us. And their only job is to catch us, and it just happened to be that I'm going to put the wind gate over here. Okay, it's going to be pretty big, by the way. Okay, so I put it wind gate all the way over there, and they're going to be 1 star over here, 1 star on top, and 1 star over here. So we need to get these 3 stars and go to the wind gate before the AI catches us. Okay, and because we created more stars, go to your level blueprint. Also, what I really did, I just copied these nodes from the first level when we created them, and then I just pasted it to the level 1, 2, and 3. So the max stars are actually going to be 3. And that's it. If we try to play now, we can select 1. Right then, so now there are so many levels, there are so many players. There are just few things that I need to add, like we go to the blueprint, go to the worlds, levels, level 2nd. I haven't added the things yet. Okay, now our leveling is done. I also want some AI in here, so just going to add that. BPAI, BPAI, BPAI. One AI will exist on top of there. So if you accidentally go to one of these boxes, you might end up getting caught and you will lose. Now the basics of the leveling is done. Now we can start moving on to the UI. Okay, because for now we are just getting the inputs as print string, which is a debug option. We are not actually getting them in the game. So what we need to do now is go to the content drawer, my game, and create a new folder called widgets. Right click, go to the blueprint class. No, not the blueprint class. Just scroll down and you will see user interface. And then select widget blueprint and then user blueprint. In here we're going to say HUD. This is going to be our player HUD. In the blueprint we're going to add a canvas panel, which will act as a screen for us. Just drag it to the screen that you have on your PC currently. I'm going to get to my one, which is 1920 by 80. I'm just going to select mine, and now we're going to get a text. Okay, and text is going to be over here. The anchor is going to be exactly what we have right now. And this text box is going to be variable and is going to call for star counter. So we're going to name this star counter and it's going to be a variable. Now go to the graph, and now we're going to create a event. So this is going to be custom event, and we're going to call for set star text stars counter. Okay, now get the star counter, and from here get a node called set text, and then basically put the in text to this, and you will see add pin to the node, and we have a input that we can run through here. Now go to your player character, go to begin play, and after we have added the mapping context, we're going to create widget of player HUD. Then we're going to promote this to a variable. So right click, promote to a variable, and this is going to be player HUD. And now in the player HUD, we're going to add this to viewport. After we have added this to viewport, now we're going to update the, we're going to call for the function that we just created, which is going to be set counter star counter. Okay, and it have in text and some value that we can put it in. So right click on the empty space and search for append, and you will see this function in under string append and attach the return value to the in text, and that would be it. Now what we want is in A we're going to say stars, B is going to be our basically our current stars, C is going to be this divider, and then D is going to be our max stars. Alright, now if we compile and save, as you can see we have stars 0 to 5, and now we're going to update it every time we get a star. So over in the collect stars event, we're going to basically make another custom event. At a custom event, update counter. Okay, and then go to this star collection, and then we're just going to say update star counter. That's it. So now if we were to get a star like this one, now it says 1, now it says 2, 3, and so on. Okay. And now what we want to do is, because right now we have 5 stars, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we don't need to change the level blueprint as such, but we need to have one value, because if we go over here, play from here, and we go, it says collect all stars. So we need to change this value, right? We need to have a alert on our screen whenever we go to the win gate, but we don't have all of these stars. So what we want to do now is go back to your HUD, and in HUD we're going to create the alert. So again, make another canvas panel, okay, and make a image, put it inside the new canvas panel, and then get a text and put it inside the canvas panel as well. All right, make the text color to be black, and now let's scale up our canvas panel. As you can see, it's not following the canvas panel, so go to the image and put the anchor as the whole screen and put all of the values as 0. Similarly with the text block, all of the values to 0, and then make the justification to be center. Now we're going to drag down our canvas panel, and in the text box we're going to say collect all of the stars. Okay, so collect all of the stars. Now select your canvas panel, move it a bit up, and we want to set his anchor to this corner. Okay, and that's basically it. All right, now make the canvas panel a variable, and we're going to call this alert. Okay, and what we want to do, so if you go to the BP player, and whenever we are winning, over here we are saying to collect all stars. So what do we want to do now is we're going to get the player HUD, and over here we're going to, and inside the player HUD we're going to create another custom event. So add a custom event, alert, alert event, and get your alert canvas panel and set visibility to be visible, and then we're going to give it a delay of 5 seconds, and then we're going to set its visibility to be hidden. And of course, by default, this canvas panel is going to be invisible. Alright, now we have done the event. Now we need to call it every time we want to say that collect all stars. So go to player HUD and call for alert event player HUD. Okay, and when we win, we're going to create another widget for winning. All right, so now the basic stuff is done. When we collect our stars, we get the counter for it, and when we get to the win gate, before we collect all of the stars, we get the alert. Now let's make the win window and loss window. So go back to the widgets again, go to the user interface, select widget blueprint, user widget, and this is going to be win window. Open it up, make a canvas panel. In the canvas panel, now we're going to get a image, which is going to be all anchors in all of these sides. Then we're going to get a text of black color, and also the image, I actually want this to be a bit gray. And now we can make our text white again. Okay. Again, the justification is going to be in the center, and the anchor for the text block is also going to be in the center. Make the position to be 0, 0, and the alignment to be 0.5 and 0.5. Now increase the... Now go to the font of this, and then increase its size. Now drag it up, and in the text block say you win. Okay, now we're going to have two buttons over here. One will take us to the next level and one will take us to the main menu. So compile and save it, and then we're going to say button, one over here and one over there, and text, one in this one and one in this one. Now select your first button, increase its height, and put it over here. And I think let's just duplicate this and put this one over there. So this button anchor will be on this corner and this button anchor will be on this corner. In the first one we're going to say next, and in the second one we're going to say main menu. Okay, and now what we need to do is also rename the buttons to their respective text. So next and main menu, and make both of them variables. Now go to graph, compile everything, and in the next you will see on clicked event, so select that for both of them. And now whenever we click on main menu, we're going to open up the main menu, and whenever we click on next, we're going to move on to the next level. Now before we start doing that, we need to create a main menu level. So go to the content, my game, world levels, like this, and let's say that we duplicate let's duplicate level 3, and let's duplicate level 3, and we're going to call this one main menu. Open up main menu, save selected, and we're going to basically put our camera here. So search for player start, delete this, and scale this platform a bit, move it to this side, and now let's put our player start here. rotate it. And then now if we try to play, but yeah, this is not going to have any mode. This is going to be none. If you play it, as you can see, we see this window. Okay. Now what we want to do is go to content drawer, your widget folder, and now create a widget, blueprint widget for our main menu. Open it up, canvas panel. Then we're going to have buttons, one for play, one for levels, and one for quit. Okay, now let's adjust them to a good height. Also, let's add text in them and duplicate them. Okay, so once you have something like this, change the text block to be play, levels, and then quit. Okay, go to the main menu, blueprint, and we're going to close this, and in the begin play we're going to create widget called main menu, and then add to viewport. Compile and save everything. So now what we want to do is go to your main menu widget, go to the graph. Also make sure that all of these buttons are variables. Okay, and now we're going to create a window where when we click levels, it's going to showcase all of the levels that we have in the world. Okay, so create another canvas panel, make the enter to be the center, and then expand it out. Also, we're going to add a blur right above our canvas panel, and make sure that the blur is covering the whole screen. What we're going to do is we're going to increase its strength to be 50, so the background is now blurred, and whatever we put in front of it will appear whenever we want to. Okay, so in canvas panel we're going to add a scroll box so that we can scroll between the map. Anchors are going to be 0, 0, and then in the scroll box we're going to put a button inside that scroll box. Okay, so you can add as many buttons you want if you keep on duplicating them. In the game you can actually scroll through them, and you can select any level basically that you want. Okay, so now how we actually want to do this is, if you go to the button, add a button to the scroll box, and then add a text to your button. So go to the text, add to the button, and now it will appear like this. Now go to the text block and actually increase the size on how you actually want to make the selection of your button, and then go to the button section, go to the padding, and select the top padding to be 10, bottom padding to be 10, then left padding to be 250, and then right padding to be 250. Okay, now go to your text block and change the name to level 1. Now you can just duplicate your button, which we are going to name as 1, and it's going to be a variable. Okay, so now select the 1 and duplicate it over and over again, as many levels as many levels as you have in your world. I only have 3, so I'm going to go with that many. Once you have the buttons in order, go to the text and change them as well. Alright, now you can add as many levels as you want, and in future what is going to happen if you have multiple of them, you will see that we have a scroll box here now. And now you can scroll between them using the scroll box in the game. So basically if you have more than 10 or 15 levels, a player can scroll through it and select whichever level he wants to. For now we only have 3 levels. We're just going to choose 3 of them. Now what I want you guys to do is make sure that all of these buttons are also labeled. So this is the play button. This is the quit. And this is the levels. Okay, now go to the graph, compile everything first. And when we play, so when we click on play, we want to open level by object reference. We want to open level 1. So search for level 1. And when we select levels, okay, when we click on levels, we want to set the visibility of this canvas panel, okay, and visibility of this background blur to be true, because by default both of them in visibility wise, both of them are going to be hidden. Okay, so go back to the graph, go back to the on clicked levels, select your background blur and canvas panel, and basically put and set visibility to be visible. And now in this section we're going to create another button right over here, which is going to ask us if we want to come back from the scroll box and stuff. Okay, so we're going to make another button and put it inside the canvas panel, and it's going to be the back button with, of course, a text inside it. Now that we have selected all of these, now go back to the graph. Make sure that the back button is also a variable. Now whenever we press back, we're going to set their visibility to be hidden again. Okay, it's just that easy. Alright, now let's do the quit button. So when we click on quit, we're just going to get the function called quit game. Okay, and then we're going to set for 1, 2 and 3. When we click on 1, we're going to open level by object reference to be level 1. Then going to open level 2 here and 3 here. Level 2 and then level 3. Okay, so now that the main menu is done, if you open it up, oh, one thing that I forgot to do, our event construct means whenever our widget is created, we're going to get player controller, and then we're going to set input mode to UI only, and then we're going to set show mouse cursor to be true. And then we're going to get another event, which is going to be event destruct, and we are basically going to, whenever it destructs, we're going to set input mode to be game only. But there are a few problems when you run this function. So what we are going to do is drag from your player controller and get is valid, so that we know before we even like start inputting in it, we will know that it is valid, and you can run from it and you can basically do this function. Compile and save it now. And now if you go to main menu, you can see we have our mouse cursor, and we can select levels. You can select any of these levels, or you can go back and you can just click play and you will go to the first level of the map. Now that much is done. Now let's go to the Win window. So now whenever we try to click next, we're going to open up the next map, and whenever we click on main menu, it will basically open up the main menu map. So when you click main menu, go and select open level by object reference, and this is going to be main menu. Okay, clean. And now what we want to do is go back to your interface that you created. So go to interface, world interactions, and now we're going to create a function called next level. Okay, compile and save everything. Go back to your Win window, get player pawn, and now run the next level message. Okay, and go to your BP player. One more thing, we're going to do the same thing that we did with the main menu. So every time we're going to see our every time we're going to win and we're going to see our Win window, we're going to do the same thing here. Okay, just copy it and paste it to the Win window. That's it. Now go back to your player, and in the interface now you will see next level. So open it up. Now what we want to do is we actually want to create a dispatcher here. So go to the event dispatcher and say switch levels. Okay, and we're going to call this dispatcher when we are getting this message. So whenever we get this message, we're going to call this dispatcher, and then we're going to use this event dispatcher in our levels. So go to my game, go to your worlds, levels, and your level 1, go to the level blueprint, and now from the BP player we're going to drag out and say assign, and now put whatever you said over there, which is going to be level. If I search, this is assign switch level, and then put the bind event to the algorithm, and now over here we can switch to the next level. So you can basically say the same thing, open level by object reference. So in the level 1, of course, we're going to get level 2. So just do that, and now you can copy these nodes and put them in level 2 blueprint, select level 3, and now okay, first start it's going to be that. And now we are also going to create a level which will open up when we have completed all of the levels. Okay, so when we have completed the last level, then we're going to open up that level. So go to the levels and name it won all levels. So now go to the level 3rd, open it up, save everything, blueprint, paste, attach nodes, and put level 3. No, not the level 3, but the one all level, because this is mine last level. If you have like 10 levels, then put it at the last level and just select the next level for your project. Now compile and save everything. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a loose window. So right now we have a when window. So now we're going to create a window which we are going to see when we lose. Double click to open it up. Change the text to you lose, and this is going to be, instead of next, it's going to say replay. Go to the button and also rename it to replay, and compile and save everything again. Go to the graph, and in the replay clicked, remove this function, and we're just going to get current level name, and then we're going to open level by name, and then just attach this directly. Okay, so you lose is already been created because it's similar to the UN. Now we're going to duplicate it again, and now we're going to create a one all window. Okay, double click to open it up, and now the text will say you won all of them, and decrease the size. You won all of them, and probably wait for the next update, right? And now in this one, we're going to delete the next option. We can only go to the main menu. Okay, compile and save everything. Go to the graph because we have the next, so delete that. And that is it. Now go to the win all levels, and over here we're going to, in the blueprint, we're just going to create widget, which is going to be win all levels, one all window, and add to viewport. That's it. Now we're going to see if everything is working by going to main menu, playing. Now we're going to get all of these 3 stars. Of course, we're just going to ditch him. Oh, do. Yay. You cannot even see it on the ground when he's moving. Now we are going to get this and then go to the event. Okay, so it's not sending us to the next level. It's not opening up that window. So go back to your BP player, and on the event win, when we are winning, we're going to say create widget of class one all window, and then return the value. No, not one all window. It's going to be win window. and then add to viewport. Compile and save. We're going to now go to the test bench because it's easier to do that than to do our first level. So world test bench, run the game, collect all of these stars. Oh no. And also code queue is not working. We're not losing. Okay, we won. We can go to the next level now, and that would basically be registered to the test bench, but there is nothing in the test bench. But we can go to the main menu, then select any level. Nice. So this is working now. The next thing we want is what to do when we actually collide with our AI. So go to blueprint BPAI. Then in the code queue, we're going to say create widget called closed window, add to viewport, and yeah, that's it. Now there is one thing that is actually happening is even if you win or lose, the world is still running, right? If the AI is active in the world and you actually win, AI will come to you and catch you, and then you will lose basically. So now what we have to do is after we create this window, we're going to go and we're going to set global time dilation to be 0. Okay, so whenever we make the lose window or win window, we're just going to set global time dilation to be 0. Alright then, now we have our win window, we have our lose window. Now let's see what is left. So if we do this, we lost, we can replay, and we can collect all of these stars. Okay, you know what, I actually want to play because we know that it's working, we can go to the next level. Okay, let's go to the main menu and see if the whole game is working or not. So click on play. Boom, we win. Now if we click next, it will say you won all of them, wait for the next update, and then main menu again. And now you can quit. And our game is complete. Now for few of the things that I would recommend that you change from here are the UI. Update a bit of UI, maybe change it to your liking. And one more thing that we want to do is we want to add two things to our main menu. Now if we click play, as you can see, we have the end thing here and then player and AI over here, but they are pretty far, so I'm going to bring this close, rotate it a bit, and move it even more close. Yeah, something like this. So we have our player, after there we have our AI, and then let's also change the texture of our wind gate. We're going to put the water here. Okay, so water instance, go over to the wind gate, edit, go to the sphere, and put the water here. Okay, play, and that's our game. Now you can change it as you want. You can change materials. You can also go to the fab page, which we didn't. So you select fab over here. You can get many more materials that we didn't even use. You can texture your own stuff. Instead of cubes, you can use spheres or maybe cones. It's completely up to you. This is completely a base game that just contains us being able to move in a world. We have few goals like collecting these stars, and in between us and winning is this AI, and if we ever happen to touch this AI, we will lose. Okay, so that's the whole plot of the game, and that's the whole game. Now let's go to the building of this game. So what you need to do is go over to the edit, then go to the project settings, then go to the maps and modes, and in the game default map select your main menu, because this is the level that we are going to start with. Okay, now that is done, close your project settings, go to platform, select Windows, select shipping, and then just click on package project. It will ask you where do you want to save it. I'm going to save it on the desktop. Right click, game, package, select your folder whichever you have created, and then it will start packaging for you. Also, if there is any problem with your game, you will see them over here and then you can fix them. For now, I don't think we'll have any problems. So now I'm just going to let it run, and at the end of this, because it's going to take a bit of time, so when it's done, I'm going to come back and show you the whole build. Okay, so see you in a bit. We're going to just close the Unreal Engine editor and then open up our game package. Open up Windows and then open up beginnerlesson.exe. And if you are opening it up for the first time, it's going to render all of the shaders. So wait for a bit and it will be in front of you in a while. Alright guys, so we just have to wait for a bit, and now as you can see, we are in the game. So for the first launch, it's going to take a bit of time because it's rendering and compiling all of these shaders. So just wait for that bit of time, and now we can click on play. So at the top left corner, you can see our star counter. Oh no. Okay, he's coming. Let's also like try to make him come somewhere close to us, and then we can move on. Okay, okay, he's too close. And oh my god, we win. Now to the next one. Now to the next one. And it's pretty poor level designing, by the way. I really didn't like put too much effort into designing this level. I just went with something that is playable. And there we go. We win all of the levels, and we can go to main menu, select any of these menus. If we select level 2, we go to the level 2. Now there is one thing that is missing, the pause menu, right? We actually want to pause it, right? If we are in the game, we want to get out of it. So how about that? Let's also make a pause menu for us to use, and then that would be our game project. Right now the game is completely created. I just want to have a pause menu as well. There might be some errors like this, just forget them. There are so many things happening in Unreal Engine at the same time that you are going to get few errors, so you just have to work with them. If you try to make them go, you basically have to spend more time doing that instead of like creating your levels and basically creating your own game and functionality in it. So what we want to do now is go to my games and your player, and whenever we press key escape, so whenever we press escape, we're going to create a widget for the pause menu. Okay, so now let's create the pause menu widget by going to widgets, and it is going to be kind of close to the main menu, so just duplicate that. And this is going to be pause menu. Open it up, and we are not going to have the canvas panel. We're not going to have the blur. Oh, we are going to have the blur, but it's going to be at the canvas panel right here, and the visibility is going to be visible all the time. Now go to the graph. If you compile, you will see the warning options. Just delete all of the nodes. We're also going to delete levels. Now in the play one, this is going to be the return. Okay, the levels is going to be the main menu, and the quit is going to be the quit. Okay, and we're going to have another text and now we're going to call this host. Okay, that's it. Now go to the return button, which is the play button. So let's also edit them. Play is actually going to be return. Level is going to be the main menu. and quit is going to be quit. So on click return, we're just going to say remove from the parent cell. So we're just going to remove this widget from the screen, and then we're going to set, and before we remove it from the parent, we're just going to set time dilation to 1 again. Okay. For the menu though, in the main menu, we're going to open level by object reference and search for main menu. Compile, save, go back to your BP player, and when we press escape, we want to create widget. Class is going to be the pose menu. Going to add to viewport, and we're going to set time dilation to be 0. Okay, now let's test it out. When we are playing, we can, okay, escape actually also is a key that you can quit game in the editor, so we're going to make this key for now to be 5 or maybe 1. So whenever we press 1, it's going to open up the pose menu. As you can see from the from the blur, our AI is stuck there, and then we can return. We are back to the game. We can pause again, go to the main menu, or we can just quit. And then when we are adding it to, this is basically going to be a flip-flop. So we're going to create a branch actually, and set and create a new variable called is in pose, and put that in here and select to be true. And put that in here and make it also a not boolean and put that in here. So if we are not in pose, then we're going to go inside pose, and if we are in pose, then we're going to remove the pose from the parent. And make sure that once you have done this, that you deselect it. Also, make sure to disable show mouse cursor in the event destruct and change the input mode to game and UI. Alright, everything is working. Just go back and make sure that this is happening from the escape. And now our game is created. We have made all of the features that we need. We created levels, we created the UI, and we created the main menu and pose menu. Now just go to platform, Windows, and this is going to be our last book, last packaging. Make sure to delete the previous one. Select one, and that's it. After this build is complete, you will be seeing all of the menus and all of the levels after this window. You might see some errors, some warnings, but you don't have to worry if the end result is in success. Okay, so just wait for a bit, and it's done. And as you can see in the last few messages, build successful, executed, and stuff. And we're going to close it, open our game and run it, and now select we're going to click on play. Oh no. Oh no, there's one coming down. Oh no, 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 no. And we cannot even see them. Yo. Oh, wee. Yay. But there should be something like, you know, when we lose, there should be something like that. Yeah, let's lose. What? Yeah, they're not doing anything. Anyways, we lost. We can replay, or we can go to the main menu. Of course, we can pause and quit the game that way. Alright guys, that was me making a game in hours, and you guys watching me and maybe probably making this game by yourself. And after this series, just follow the next series, I guess, if you don't have anything to do. But if you have something in your mind, and if you have something in your mind that you want to create with what we have learned today, then really nice, just start building that project. And if you need any help with that project as well, then join our Discord so that I can help you out with that project as well. Links are in the description. See you in the next video. Hopefully you will build amazing games in the future. Happy developing.